All right, guys, so we are going to get into my favorite reactions for season 1 of The Mandalorian, guys. So, guys, we're going to get a look at my favorite reaction moments of season 1 of The Mandalorian, guys. So, please join me for a quick little ride through season 1 and some of my favorite moments from The Mandalorian. And then afterwards, we'll get into a bit of a discussion on what we can expect out of season 2, get some predictions out of the way. So guys, let's go ahead and get started. So guys, we're getting into this Mandalorian. I am so excited. Episode 1. I love the intro with all the masks. That's awesome. And the light going back and forth. That's awesome. Star Wars. Nice intro. Awesome intro, guys. Oh. Oh! Oh! Oh, this is the scene that we got at Star Wars Celebration. Ooh! That's that armor. Oh! Oh! I like how they did that. I like how they did that. Awesome! That is so nice. That is so nice. So awesome. Oh! Ha! Oh, man. So you eat those things now. That's terrible. Woo! Woo! Oh! IG-11, baby. That's awesome. Ooh. Ooh, wow. I love the way IG-11 is moving. What is it? Come on, let us see. It's a kid. Some kind of...
Wait. They said 50 years old.
Oh, wait a minute.
Species age differently. Perhaps it could be
That's...
many centuries.
Oh.
Sadly.
Ooh, what? Whoa, whoa, whoa. What happened to IG-11? Getting... Ooh. Holy... I think we're gonna find out how force sensitive this kid is right now. They're not wasting any time. Look, look, look. They got us with that one. They got us with that one. Whatever it is, it's eating stuff, and it's eating big stuff. Ooh, that's doo-doo. Ooh, holy shit. I told you. Look at that. Look, 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 look. Told you. I mean, we knew he was gonna be force sensitive. Look at that. Look, look. People said we wouldn't get much with the force in the beginning. So much for that. Here it is, guys. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. He's turning off stuff.
Stop touching things.
Stop touching things. Baby Yoda's killing it. Damn. Oh my God. Oh. Thank you, man. Dude.
Dropping out of hyperspace.
Wow. Oh, damn it.
Engaging target.
Ooh. Damn. Ooh. Oh, this just got real good. This just got real good. This just got real good. Ooh. That was nice. Damn. Oh. Uh-oh, behind you. Yeah, there he is. That very nice. Love the camera work. Nice. That was cool. I so thought Baby Yoda deflected that back at the
I
floor.
got a clear signal on the tracking beacon. Copy that.
That was Dave Filoni. That was Dave Filoni.
This is Mos Eisley Tower. We're tracking you. Head for Bay 35. Over.
Did he say Mos Eisley Tower? Is that Tatooine? That's Tatooine. Mos Eisley. Mos Eisley, baby. Oh, look at that. Awesome. That gun, God. He's helping. Oh, the Mandos. Whoa. Oh my God. Look at this.
Get out. This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way. That's the new catchphrase, baby. Awesome. Lovely. That is so awesome, man. Live action. Woo.
I gotta get one of those.
I gotta get one of those. IG-11 is my favorite. My favorite. Woo. That was nice. Yeah. Uh-oh. Baby Yoda. Ooh, oh, that was a nice move. Nice. Oh, man. Ooh.
Useless against him.
Hey, let's make the baby do the magic hands. Come on, baby. Do the magic
magic handshake. Come on, about this. I'm not.
Here he comes!
Is that the dark saber? What the? It's the dark saber. The Moth has the dark saber. Oh no. So those were my favorite reaction moments from season 1 of The Mandalorian. So let's get into a bit of a discussion about season 1 and what we learned about The Mandalorian, and then we'll also get into predictions for season 2. So what did we learn about The Mandalorian and the state of the galaxy in season 1? Well, first, we learned that the Empire hasn't fully been wiped away. They still exist in small pockets of mercenary groups. And as Werner Herzog's character suggests, it's not all peaceful times in the galaxy since the fall of the Empire. We also learned about the Bounty Guild and the inner workings of their world. We learned a little bit about the current state of the Mandalorians with the mention of the Great Purge. We also learned that Beskar steel has become a very valuable form of currency, which was obviously purged by the Empire. The Mandalorians have been forced to go underground, hiding their numbers, forming covert. A lot of interesting aspects to the Mandalorians since the last time we saw them in Star Wars Rebels. The Mandalorians are attempting to reclaim their heritage and preserve their culture. We also learned about foundlings and that the Mandalorians are not a race but a creed, which is really, really interesting because if you think about Boba Fett and Jango Fett, who I believe George Lucas said were not necessarily Mandalorians, but you can now kind of thought that Mandalorians are not a race but a creed. So it is very possible that you can still have Jango Fett and Boba Fett as a part of the Mandalorian culture as a creed, a house of two, if you will, just like the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda. And then also one thing that we also learned is as a foundling, you can be of any race or species and still become a foundling, maybe even possibly a Mandalorian if they decide that you are strong enough to do so. So that is also very interesting as well. You have different types of aliens who are also a part of the Mandalorian culture. So that'll be a very interesting aspect to see going forward. We also learned that the Mandalorians no longer remove their helmets. Now we've seen in Rebels and also in the Clone Wars, I believe that Mandalorians do remove their helmets. Pre Vizsla removed his helmet in the Clone Wars, and then of course several different times we saw Bo-Katan and Sabine Wren remove their helmets in Rebels. So now we have this new thing where they no longer remove their helmets and reveal themselves to living any living species. And I think the reason for that has to do with the fact that they've gone underground and they're hiding their numbers. Definitely you would like to hide your identity if you are also trying to conceal the fact you are still around. So that may be one of the reasons why they adopted this new culture of not removing your helmet. That may be explained later on in season 2. We'll have to see. We also learned how the Mandalorians earn their signet, which is really cool. Very, very interesting aspect right there. But the biggest reveal we got about the Mandos was the fact that Moff Gideon now has the dark saber. So now we're going to get into a little bit of spoiler territory for Star Wars Rebels. So if you haven't seen Star Wars Rebels, you might want to skip this part. But we're going to get into a little bit of spoiler territory for Star Wars Rebels here in regards to the dark saber. So, what is the Darksaber for those who are unfamiliar with that particular weapon and the significance of that particular weapon? In short, it is a weapon that once belonged to Tar Vizsla. He was the first known Mandalorian who was also a Jedi. We didn't get Tar Vizsla's fate revealed to us, so we don't know exactly what happened to him, but we do know that the Darksaber was held by the Jedi for several years until the Mandalorians came into the Jedi Temple and stole the Darksaber and reclaimed it as their own. From that particular point, it was held by Pre Vizsla. If you are familiar with the Clone Wars, again, this is spoiler information for the Clone Wars guys, but it was held by Pre Vizsla. And then at one point, Darth Maul defeated Pre Vizsla for the right to rule Mandalore and took possession of the Darksaber. The Darksaber actually remained in his possession for quite a while, as we learned in Rebels. It was retrieved by Ezra and Sabine. Sabine basically took over the possession of the Darksaber. She actually learned how to use and wield the Darksaber. However, after some consideration, actually has the right to hold the Darksaber and take claim as the leader of Mandalore, she handed the weapon over to Bo-Katan, again in Star Wars Rebels, and that was the last time we saw the Darksaber before it was revealed Moff Gideon is now in possession of the Darksaber. So this is why the Darksaber is such a big deal here in this particular series, because it opens up a lot of questions. First, how did Moff Gideon get the Darksaber? And did he kill Bo-Katan to get the Darksaber? Very, very big questions right there. Hopefully we'll get answers to them in season 2. And then the other question is, are the Mandalorians aware that Moff Gideon is in possession of this weapon, which again is a symbol of leadership for their culture? If the Mandalorians are trying to reclaim their culture, getting the Darksaber has to be at the top of the list, and that could be a very, very cool plot point going forward in season 2. Now, one of the other rumors or speculations, predictions that I've kind of heard with my rounds on the internet and whatnot, there's a lot of speculation that the armorer, the Mandalorian armorer, we haven't had her identity revealed to us as of yet, but it is speculated that it could be Bo-Katan, which would be really, really interesting. Perhaps she may have survived her battle with Moff Gideon, but lost the Darksaber, and this is why she's been forced to go underground and restructure the Mandalorian culture. Or it's a good chance that the armorer could be Sabine Wren. Now, we know that Sabine Wren is still out there. Last we saw Sabine, she was on a quest with Ahsoka to find Ezra Bridger. It is very possible that she has survived all the way to this point in the timeline and has decided to help reclaim the Mandalorian culture and rebuild the Mandalorian culture. And so now she has taken up this position as the armorer. Even though she is the armorer, it does seem that she is a bit of a leader for the Mandalorians as well. And so that's one of the reasons why it's a good chance that this particular character could be Bo-Katan or even Sabine Wren. So that could be a very interesting plot point going forward if it is revealed that the armorer is one of those two characters. Speaking about plot points for season 2, we do know that the main plot point is for the Mandalorian to get Baby Yoda back to his own kind. Now, whether that means getting him back to his own species or getting him back to the Jedi, I'm not sure. But getting him back to the Jedi, to me, makes the most sense. Luke and his Jedi Academy is still out there, and there's a good chance that we may see Luke and a young Ben Solo as well, if the Mandalorian does decide to take Baby Yoda back to the Jedi. So what about some of the other side plots that we learned about in this first season of The Mandalorian? Well, we do still have Bill Burr's crew of mercenaries who were basically captured by the Mandalorian and put on the public prison ship. Well, they most definitely will want some payback on the Mando for that. So we could see them return next season as well. And that should be a lot of fun. Obviously, that episode with Bill Burr and their crew, as you guys saw with my reaction, was definitely one of the fun episodes, and I think it would be great to have those particular characters return and try to get some get back on the Mandalorian. So that's something to look out for in season 2. And then also, how about IG-11? Now, I could be a little biased here. One of my favorite characters in this series so far, and we've actually lost him twice in this series, both in shocking fashion. So I'm just, I guess, being a fan of that particular character, I would like to see him return again. My thought would be for a possible return of IG-11. However, it is very unlikely. I think it is possible that if there is some way that his central processing unit can be put into the astromech that we saw, the gondolier astromech that we saw with the arms and legs, if you can somehow put his brain, if you will, into that particular astromech, I think that would make for a very, very cool and interesting character. You would have still have your IG-11 personality, but in the form of this very cool astromech with the arms and legs. I think that would be a really cool way to have IG-11 return if that is something that they see going forward as part of the plot of the story. So just kind of a prediction on my behalf and also wishful thinking to have IG-11 return in the body of the astromech with the arms and legs. I think that would be absolutely cool. And then also, let's not forget that Moff is still on Navarro. Now, it is very possible that he could capture Greef Karga and Cara Dune in an attempt to lure the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda back to Navarro. So that is also a major plot point that we could possibly see in season 2 going forward. So guys, those are my thoughts and predictions for season 2. Let me know what your predictions are for season 2. Will the Mandalorian return Baby Yoda to the Jedi, or is he going to return Baby Yoda back to his home world, his own species, wherever and whoever that is, because we still have not got an official name for Baby Yoda and his species. So it'll be interesting to see which way they go in regards to that. Again, we still have Luke and the Jedi Academy out there. I don't know if the Mandalorian is aware of Luke. He should be aware of Luke because Luke is supposedly this legendary figure, almost a fictional figure in the galaxy. Even Rey has heard of Luke. So it could make sense that the Mandalorian could get wind of Luke's presence and attempt to try to get Baby Yoda over to Luke and the Jedi Academy. So that is something that we can also look for. Let me know if you think that is a great possibility, or do you believe that he's going to return Baby Yoda to his home world? Do you think we will see Luke and the Jedi Academy in this series, guys? I think it's very possible that we could get Mark Hamill in this series. You can kind of de-age him a little bit, just as they did in The Last Jedi, and depict that particular time period where his Jedi Academy was still up and running. We could see at some point in this series, not necessarily in season 2, but at some point we could see Luke Skywalker and the Jedi Academy. So let me know if you think that is a great possibility. And then also, do you think that the armorer, the Mandalorian armorer, is Bo-Katan, or do you believe that it is Sabine Wren? I think it is very, very possible that it could be one of those two characters. Probably more than likely it could be Sabine Wren. because again, if Moff Gideon is in possession of the Darksaber, it is a good chance that he killed Bo-Katan to retrieve that saber. But that also doesn't mean that she could have survived, and she has now taken up this position as the armorer and somewhat the leader of the new Mandalorian culture, and it could be her underneath that mask. So hopefully we'll get a reveal of who exactly is the armorer, and it is a good possibility, I believe, that it could be Sabine Wren or Bo-Katan. Let me know who you believe the armorer is. Is it Bo-Katan, Sabine Wren, or is it just some random character, new character that we haven't yet learned about? So guys, let me know what your thoughts and predictions are. Put those comments down below, guys. I do read the comments and I do respond as well. So please go ahead and put those comments down below. I will be looking out for your predictions and thoughts on season 1 as well as season 2. And then of course, you enjoy the content and you enjoy the Mandalorian. Of course, for season 2, I will be continuing my reactions for season 2. I also will be doing reactions for the upcoming season 7 of Clone Wars, which is set to come out in February next month, if I'm not mistaken. So you can look forward to that. So you definitely want to subscribe to the channel and click that little bell so you get alerts whenever I upload my video. I will be doing a couple of toy reviews that I need to catch up on. I will also reveal my top 10 Black Series 6-inch figures for 2019. I probably will have that video up sometime next week. So guys, I want to thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. And of course, guys, from the Father to the Son to the Mandalorian season 2, may the Force be with you always.